Grok 4 came out, last week, and Grok 4 is really, really good. It's literally a complete game changer. I was like, is there an easy way to download all images from a public website? Hey friend, I hope you're doing great. And I'm the founder of Prism, and we make websites and apps for small brick and mortar businesses. This video is going to be just like this breakthrough that helped me a lot in terms of the stuff that we're building for our clients. And I think that could help you a lot too if you're looking at using AI to build software or websites in any kind of way. Even if it's for your own personal projects, is something that's super huge. It's helped me a ton. One of the most common things, like the most common issues that we have, like most of the brick and mortar businesses that we work with, they already have an existing website and they have some content online and like photos and blog posts and things like that. It becomes an issue, transitioning and basically how do you leverage all of that raw content? So like everything that they've written in the past, any kind of photos or videos or any kind of media was on the old website, that content is super underutilized. And what we try to help our clients do and help these businesses do is build kind of like a flywheel system, or it's sometimes referred to as a waterfall system, where basically you put in one little piece of content and it turns into all these amazing things, and it's perfectly curated on all these different services. So like if you were to do one photo shoot with a client or with their business, then you could turn that into a series of blog posts of different things to show off, what the interior of the business or office is like on the website, but then also on the local listings like Google, Apple Maps, Yelp, but then also on social media, right? Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and then also in ads. So Google ads, Meta ads that you might be running. So that kind of thing is like, it's just hard to build a waterfall like that, like a system like that just kind of happens automatically and goes and posts on all those things. And that's really what we help our clients do. But the problem is that sometimes it's just hard to get it. Historically, it's been hard to get access to that raw data. I'm explaining that, okay? And so literally what I used to do, honestly, is I didn't know all this advanced jujitsu of how you can get all of that data, extract it from a public source, whether it's that client site or any other site that you might want to, get images from or scrape basically. And I didn't really have a standard way to do that. So basically what I would do is I would go into the old site and literally individually download all the different images. And copy the text, or I would have, an LLM like GPT Go, and I would have GPT Go, and I would have it, I would put it into O3 mode. I'd have it do research and have it pull out all the information, at least all the written content, right? If maybe sometimes there are hundreds of blog posts, right? Or hundreds of different pages associated with that old website. And so how do you get all that content and put it into, it's basically just extract it and download it, so that you can put it into this flywheel system. That was a huge breakoff, and that was one of the things that was really hard. And historically, honestly, we just would do this where manually I'd be going and copying and pasting the information and kind of putting it into a spec for the website that was in Notion or something like that, or then I'd be downloading the images or whatever. And you can also, there are several extensions and tools you can use to scrape information from sites. And but the thing is that a lot of them really only work super well for single pages, and so it's still just a little bit of a manual process. And I was basically there's got to be a better way to do this, right? And so the system, this thing I really want to tell you guys about is obviously, you can see I'm using Comet, but then Grok 4 came out, last week, and Grok 4 is really, really good. And so I just want to encourage you guys, I could go down, have this other tangent or this thing of how to use these systems for your business. It's literally a complete game changer. But this is kind of what happened with me. It was I was like, is there an easy way to download all images from a public website? And it said yes, and it gave me a few different, you can see how it thought and everything. It did some searches on Reddit and the Google Chrome store for extensions and some different sites. And it gave me the extension. And so there's some other things you could do here too. You can use the command line, extract these things. And I was like, does it give you all the images from the entire website? Does it give me all the content? And so this is what happened. I sparred back and forth with it. And And then eventually got to this point where, hey, there's actually a way where you can run a command in your terminal that gets all of the photos and, all the videos and all that content that I need for our content flywheel, for this client. It downloads it all to your local device. And that's like that was huge, right? And yeah, it's just that, honestly, guys, like that's been one of the hardest things, is just that, like I said, we work with like small businesses. So like even if they're not brick and mortar, like some of them aren't brick and mortar and they're like online businesses, but for the online businesses, it's usually just like the founder and like a couple other people that they're working with, like these are small businesses. And so they don't have all this time to be shooting content, a bunch of new content and taking a bunch of photos and all of this stuff. And especially if they already have a lot that's out there. Ideally, you don't want to have to. That's why people get burnout on social media and people don't want to post and people can't consistently like market themselves and market their business, is because they don't have a system like this. Like it's literally, it's like painstaking every time. Like you're posting on, I post on LinkedIn and make a video on YouTube and then add to the blog post. It just seems so overwhelming. And inherently, the way that this works is just, it takes a long time for you to start to get traction on your content. I mean, we live in a world now where the algorithms are much better, and they're much better at connecting your content, if you're brand new and you have 0 followers, subscribers, to the right ideal audience. It's night and day compared to how it used to be, but it's still, it still takes a while, right? And so you still got to stick it out and be in the game. Maybe like every once in a while, some dude gets lucky and like their first blog post goes super viral and they get a bunch of prospects from that and a bunch of sales calls from that. But it's like, it's very rare. So you have to really, it's this idea where it's not about like this hard work execution thing. It's more about building a system around your business, a content flywheel system or a content waterfall system that's going to make it easier for you as the founder, or if you're running marketing for this business. It's like, that becomes, just anyways, getting all that content is a huge deal. And so you really, really need to have this way that just kind of, dude, it just takes your content and just runs with it, right? It posts it, and it just this system is super, super vital to that. So I just want to encourage you guys. I mean, this is kind of what I did, and it started giving me terminal prompts to get this information, and then some of it didn't work, right? So then I start pasting back in like the terminal of what I was getting, and like, is this right? I had to install some packages and things like that. But this is the thing, is that there is no limit now to what you can do. These things have limitless intelligence and limitless connection to all information of humankind, pretty much. So yeah, like I'm not, I didn't know how to do, like I said, like this kind of advanced, this is like more of an advanced developer move, but web developer move. Maybe, I don't know, if you're a developer, maybe you're laughing and this is something that's super obvious to you, but it was something that was is obviously a huge unlock for Prism, but that we didn't know how to do, right? And I wouldn't have known, like it's as simple as asking the question, right? Like ask the question and pull on the thread, and you can't be like a lot of times I think as founders, we're like, there's certain parts of our business that are just like pulling teeth and are painstaking. We don't want to look at, or we don't want to like try to change how something's, there's just a lot of things like that. But you should know every single part of your business now. Like I think there's no excuse to not know every single part of your business. And the way that you get to know your business more is by asking these kind of questions, and working with these systems. So, I know this is like a little bit of like a ranty video, but I hope that it's helpful for some of you guys out there, because it just totally, it changed it for me. And essentially like what this, we worked back and forth until we were able to basically get it to a point where any public website, I'm now like, I ran a terminal command and it pulled down all of the data, like every single, this thing had like hundreds of blog posts, right? And like hundreds of photos, and it pulled them all down and then organized them into folders on my local machine. And then from there, one of the issues was that initially I had all of like the blog content that was pulled down into a single TXT file. And I go into Claude, right? I go into Claude. You could probably do it with Cursor too. I went with Claude, and I had Claude Code go and analyze, where we were at and everything. And then it started like extracting the data and reformatting it and making it easier almost for me to basically put it into these super cleaned up TXT files that can be uploaded into another AI system. And so then, one of the other things I did, you can see is that I basically, in Grok, I gave it the whole TXT file, and I said, hey, does this have everything that, does this have all of the content, Does this TXT file have all of the content that's on the current site right now that's live? And so then it cross-referenced, it did research on this website, and then Grok is smart enough where it's able to crawl through the entire thing. And hey, maybe it could extract it, maybe it could extract all the blog content from me right now and make its own TXT file. It might be smart enough to do that, but that's one of the things that's iffy, but it's really important for you to get that right. So you don't want it to be historically, like I said, I've tried this before with like O3 and 2.5 Pro Gemini, and I've tried it with every model, bro. I've tried it with all the Claude models, and it just would hallucinate a little bit, if there's just a little bit of hallucination, it wasn't doing it correctly, or that was just a big problem. And so yeah, like again, they were super helpful, but it wasn't like perfect. And this is basically a way where I was like, how do I get this perfect? How do I get this data perfect? And I couldn't directly ask the AI to just give it to me, but I asked it how I could kind of do it myself. Like, how could I download some packages into my terminal, run some commands in my terminal to do it, do it accurately, do it myself. And so that's just what we were able to do. And this is a huge unlock for all of our clients, and is something that it's just a really common problem. Really quickly it starts to get old, and it just starts to get annoying to have to try to pull, you're Googling images, even if you're doing, the Gen AI images, like Mid-Journey video and the images from Gemini and everything, and they're really good. They're really good. But the problem is that you just have to it's time consuming. It's really time consuming to go and do that. And so ideally you want to have this mix of already great raw content, hopefully as much raw content as you can, about your business. And that you can then give that, whoever's doing content on your team, dude, they should have cloud storage is infinite now. They should have they should have so much raw, so many raw photos and videos and text and everything about your business. You should give all of that to whoever's doing content and creating content, because then they can creatively mix and match them together in different ways. And that's a really key part of this content flywheel system. So, let me know in the comments if it'd be helpful to give you guys I know this is kind of I didn't show you as I was going through the work. It would have been better for this video if I would have recorded it when I was here and I first just went through the process. But I'd be happy I could make a video kind of walking you guys through the process. But more of the point of this is that, hey, this is a problem that we experience constantly with the business, even with our own business. When I'm making our site, I have a lot of things that I need to. I want to put different photos and stuff like that and videos and just, it's having a really easy way to get them now at scale in bulk is massive. Getting some of that raw content, again, it's super important for all the flywheels that we build within Prism, but then all the flywheels that we build for our clients, brick and mortar businesses as well. Small businesses. So if you're a small business, you're a founder, or you work at a small business and you're looking to kind of really ramp up your marketing efforts and to build a content waterfall, marketing flywheel system using this insane technology, definitely hit me up. Let us know, get in touch with us, or just try this. Please try it. Grok 4 is amazing. I really highly recommend Grok 4. Comet, the browser, is amazing as well. So I could also do a video for you guys on that, and walking you through how we're using that to grow our clients' businesses. But Yeah, just really, really exciting time, guys. So let me know if you have any questions about this in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks again for watching, friend. I appreciate you.